Okay, so that brings us to slide 6 is where we're at. Excuse me. Slide 6, they give you an equation. I'm going to write my equation. Mine's going to be different. They give you an equation in the instructions, and it says, which equation, when paired with the one given, here's mine, creates an inconsistent system. Well, if you remember, back on what slide was it? Slide 3, we talked about what makes them inconsistent, and that's parallel lines. So what makes parallel lines? Well, the same slope, but not the same y-intercept. So that's what you're looking for. So then they give you choices. It's a multiple choice. So here's my choices for the one I'm working. So then we're gonna go through and we're gonna see which one of these will make a parallel set when we graph these two lines. So we're looking for which one of these equations would have this same slope of 3, because remember, this is in slope-intercept form, m being slope. So we're looking for a slope of 3, but it cannot have a y-intercept of 4, because that means it's the same line. And that means it's a different kind of, that's the consistent and dependent. Well, I look at this one right here immediately. That's the one I key in on. That one's the same thing. That one's eliminated. Don't even mess with that one. This one, let's go to this first one. This one, if I go through the steps to solve for y, I would subtract my 3x over here. And then what that gives me, I'm going to put the negative 3x first. That gives me a negative 3 for my slope. Well, I don't need a negative 3, I need a positive 3. That one's eliminated. All right, these last two are going to take a little bit more because they have more going on. Remember, you're putting them in slope-intercept form, so you want to solve for y. So you're going to subtract 3x. So I'm going to go over here. So I've got negative 9y left. These cancel. I've got negative 3x plus 27 on this one. And then the last thing you do is divide by your coefficient. So now I've got y equals, that's going to be 1/3 x. That's going to be negative 3. Well, look what that slope is. It's 1/3. I need a 3, so eliminated. Now, process of elimination says it's this one, but we're going to go ahead and solve it just to practice. So I'm going to add my 9x. So I get 3y equals, those are gone, 9x minus 27, and then now I divide by 3. So I'm left with y equals 3x minus 9. And look, I've got what I need. I have a slope of 3, which is the same as my original, and I have a different y-intercept of negative 9, and this one was 4. So that would mean those two lines would be, if I had to graph them, I'm not going to graph them. They provided a graph, but you really didn't need a graph on this. But I know by remembering what was taught, if they're same slope, different y-intercepts, parallel lines, means they're inconsistent. And that's what that one wanted, an inconsistent system. So it's on mine, it's this one. Yours, you would go through your choices and see which one your answer would be. Okay, that's slide 6. So now we're to slide 7. Now 7, I'm going to do 7 and 8 together. So 7 and 8, I'm going to remind you of one of the slides on the instruction, which was slide 11 out of the 13 on the instructions. She went over how when it's an inequality system, a system of linear inequalities, and you graph, she went over the different kind of solutions you can get on that slide. So I'm just going to kind of freehand these. If you have two lines and if it's the inequality is greater than this line, I'm going to do my different colors. That means it's everything above it. And then if it's less than this line, everything below that, then that means your solution is everything in the middle here, and we call this a parallel strip. Okay? So the next one she talked about, same thing, you've got two lines, and they're parallel, and we've got, this time it's less than this one again, but it's also less than this one. So the solution is actually only the solution of one line, of this one. So we call that a one-line solution, because the solution doesn't even include that line. So you didn't even need you didn't even need this line, technically, okay? All right, the last one is if we've got our two lines again, and this time the shading, it's greater than this one, but it's less than this one. So look what's happened. There's nothing that overlaps. So this one is actually a no solution. So those are our three types that you could see. So now on this question, they give you, this is slide 7, the one I'm looking at right now. It says, which system of inequalities has no solution? That's number 7. And then number 8 slide says, which one has a line as a solution? Well, you're looking for the no solution to look like that. You're looking for the one line to look like that. So keep that in mind. So I've written down some samples. So say I've got, and I try to do easier ones just so we can do them quicker, but it's the same concept. So let's talk about these two first. If I graphed x plus y greater than or equal to 2, keep in mind if you put them in slope-intercept form, just to make it easier to graph, it would look like that. So what we've got here is we've got lines that are parallel. That's what we're going to be dealing with in all these, because that's what we're talking about is parallel lines. So you've got parallel lines. The difference is this one starts at 2, this one starts at 5. So that's where you got to keep in mind, you got to think about where's this one compared to this one. Well, this one's going to be lower, okay? It's going to be the one underneath. So think of it like this one, this lower one. So I'm going to write, well, I'm not even going to write the inequality yet because we don't know which one this one is. Oops. This is that line. This one is this line, negative x plus 5. So think about it. If it's greater than this one, but less than this one, is that going to be this parallel strip problem? Because remember, this one's on the bottom now, so it's greater than that one. And then this one's on the top, so it's less than that one. So that one is going to be this one. So this one's greater than or equal, and this is less than or equal. So that's what that one will be. This one would be a parallel strip, which that is not one of the ones it wanted. It wanted to either know which, number 7 was which one was a no solution. Number 8 was which one was a one line. So we didn't have one like that. So the next one I'm going to write down is, these are going to be the same inequalities. The only thing different about them is going to be the symbol. So you got to think about it. So remember, when it was greater than or equal to this one, the bottom line, and less than the top line, it was the parallel strip. This one is greater than or equal the bottom line, and greater than or equal the top line. So think about that. It's kind of like this one, but reverse, isn't it? Because this is your bottom line. It's greater than that one. And then it's greater than this one. So it's like this, it's just the other direction. So this one is actually the one line. Okay, so when it's greater than the bottom one and greater than the top one also. It's basically the symbols are the same. That's what you got to keep in mind. Okay, the last set we're going to talk about is x plus y is less than or equal to 2. Remember, I'm using the same lines. So this one is less than my bottom line, less than, like that one. This one's greater than my top line. Well, guess what? these will never, they won't ever meet in the middle, will they? So this is a no solution. Okay, so that kind of goes over 7 and 8. And again, remember, this is my sample problem. You'll have ones that you have to look at, but this is the general idea of it, is figuring out if you're looking, because remember 7 was find the one that was a one-line solution, and then find the number 8 was, oh, I'm sorry, number 7 was the no solution, number 8 was the one line. So that's what you're looking for, these two on 7 and 8. Okay, all right, number 9 is the last slide. I'm gonna let you do number 9 yourself, because it's one of those that you kind of have to, you take everything you've learned and you kind of figure out and you answer the question on number 9. All right.